Hello there, my name is Sixo, but more on that later, as now it's time for today's Toy of the Week video. So it continues to be weird times around here as the lockdown is stretching on. Time itself has sort of become a bit meaningless, really. I mean, I was just thinking the other day how it's now the 5th of these Toy of the Week videos that I've done. And in equal parts, I kind of can't believe that it's been 5 whole weeks that have passed already, and yet somehow can't believe that it's only 5 weeks. It's all a bit strange. For my part, I'm trying to keep busy and do what I can to keep everyone entertained. I mean, if you haven't seen them yet, then please do check out the daily mini quizzes that I'm putting on TF Source's blog, which go live around 2 p.m. UK time daily. I've been told they're quite hard, but good fun. So give them a go if you have a bit of time. Equally, if you haven't seen it yet, then check out the hashtag GCWO on social media. It stands for Great Cybertronian Write-Off, and it's a bit of a team-up effort between me, Maz from Transformers Square One, and Liam, who runs Toybox Soapbox. And we're posting daily mini reviews of classic Generation 1 Transformers toys. We've actually got about a month of them live already, which you can find by following the GCWO hashtag on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, so go check that out. For today, though, it's time to get back to the topic at hand, which of course is our new Toy of the Week. Now, I did say recently that they wouldn't all be Generation 1, so here's G2 Megatron. Megatron was released as part of the first wave of Generation 2 toys in 1993, and was a brand new design for the maniacal Decepticon leader. In fact, this was the first time the character had been realised in plastic form without his infamous Walther P-38 gun mode, and was instead now a rather sizable M1 Abrams battle tank, complete with a memorable green and purple camouflage finish. Megatron was the only entirely new mould used during that first year of the G2 line, with most of the wave being recycled classic G1 toys, along with a few designs that originated as European exclusives but were repurposed under the G2 banner for their first release to the American market. Despite the significant redesign, there's no doubt who this is meant to be, and the toy has become recognisable as a classic Megatron release in its own right. The head sculpt evokes the Decepticon leader to a T, and I think may actually be my favourite rendition of the character of any of the toys he received for either Generation 1 or 2. The main body is also full of lovely little design touches, such as the nice detailing on the midriff section surrounding that proudly displayed M sticker, in pride of place like some weird championship belt. But what does the M stand for? I'm sure you don't need me to tell you. The camouflage paint application also looks really lovely on this toy, and the moulded touches help to give it a sense of realism in spite of the exceedingly vibrant shade of green being used. It's all complemented by some shiny chrome accents on the wheels and some eye-catching orange stickers. In true G2 fashion, he's a total assault on the retinas. Also in classic G2 form is that ridiculously massive cannon atop his right shoulder, which of course becomes the main tank turret in his alt mode. And if there was any doubt left about how exceedingly 1990s this toy really is, the stickers will tell you. The cannon says "Big Stick" on the one side and "Eat This, Autobots" on the other. Classy stuff. Megatron may not be the most poseable figure ever, but there's still plenty of articulation in the arms at least, and a gimmick in the left arm initiates just one of the toy's many sound effects. Transform him into tank mode and you'll get not just another sound effect, but you'll be left with one of the largest and most audacious tank modes in Transformers toy history. Seriously, just look at this thing. The main gimmick on offer here is of course the cannon section, but you can also install his robot mode pistol for a dash of extra armament. The cannon itself has a panel that flips open on top to allow you to load up to 4 missiles, which can then be dropped into place by pulling back a lever and fired using a button, all with accompanying sound effects. Megatron is so large that he completely dwarfs his original Generation 1 toy. The difference in style between these two is also quite potent, especially as there's only about 10 years between them in terms of design. How things change. The size difference is also notable versus a lot of the classic toys that were re-released for Generation 2, most notably Megatron's nemesis Optimus Prime, who now looks positively tiny versus his old enemy. Still, for better or for worse, G2 Megatron's size and his general loud and proud style make him a truly unique beast in many ways, becoming all the more memorable for it. Megatron was of course heavily featured in the 12-issue Generation 2 Marvel comic, which ran from 1993 to 94. although he actually made his debut a few months prior in the pages of the catchily titled G.I. Joe starring Snake Eyes and Ninja Force. He first crops up in issue 138, battle damage from his last appearance in the original Transformers comic, as he stumbles across a Cobra operation and initially gets into battle with the terrorist organisation. They quickly strike up a truce though, as bad guys so often do, and Cobra agrees to rebuild him with a new body in exchange for Cybertronian technology. The panels where he's being built never failed to make me chuckle for one reason or another. Megatron's new look is finally unveiled in issue 139, where much is quickly made about all of the various upgrades he's received with his new body thanks to Cobra. That's quickly demonstrated in the following issues too, as it's shown he can even create huge explosions without any damage to his own body somehow. He manages to kill off several Autobots in quick succession, including Brawn because, well, it's Brawn. Anyway, from there the adventure quickly moves back to the pages of the main Transformers Generation 2 comic itself, as Megatron establishes himself back in command of the Decepticon forces. This happens after he rather memorably defeats Bludgeon, who had himself taken charge towards the end of the Generation 1 run. The rest of the G2 storyline becomes increasingly violent and implausible in hopeless 1990s fashion, but there's still a lot of fun to be had, including some unspeakably horrific depictions of Megatron in battle damage form. In terms of toys, G2 Megatron has arguably inspired a number of tank modes for the character in the years since, with his fictional portrayals often following suit too. Most famously, this was the choice of alternate form being used for his big screen depiction in the second live-action film, Revenge of the Fallen. I like to think that his Action Master toy from 1990 had a little something to do with the inspiration for this toy though, as although the non-transforming figure itself was based on the character's original appearance, the accompanying vehicle accessory is a mighty tank form. There was also a second tank mode Generation 2 toy known as Combat Hero Megatron from 1994, or renamed as Archforce for release in Europe. Aside from recolouring him into purple, it followed the look and feel of the original toy quite closely, although it is noticeably smaller. So I know a lot of people tend to turn their noses up a bit at Generation 2 stuff, but for my money, I think there's a lot to love about the line. And perhaps this Megatron toy is kind of the ultimate example of that. I mean, it's just so loud and obnoxious and painfully 1990s, but in a way that it's not embarrassed about it either, which I think is kind of the whole point of G2. I mean, just check out the sound effects for one thing. This is what happens when you deploy a missile into the tank's barrel and then get the firing noise. I mean, I swear it's like they recorded Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 and put it inside a toy. And then there's the main sound effect of them all, the one that this toy is most famous for, which you get by tapping the little robot mode head section just here. Now, in case you didn't get that, it's supposedly saying Megatron Attack, although it's been forever ruined for me by legendary Transformers reviewer Thew in his own video of this toy.
They just give it a tap and it's all make a ton of cack.
Yeah, cannot unhear, so thanks for that. Joking aside, although this toy doesn't appear to take itself too seriously, there's actually some incredible design work at play here. I mean, there's some lovely play value, some really great gimmicks, and it all kind of makes you think that actually Hasbro really cared about what they were doing with Generation 2 and this new version of a classic character. I mean, G2 gets an unfairly bad rep, but actually a lot of the toys like this one are really unique and a lot of fun if you just give them a chance. So anyway, that's Generation 2 Megatron, who is our new Toy of the Week. Absolutely top drawer. Right then, that's us done for another week. Thanks again for watching, and if you haven't already, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and maybe check out some of my other videos whilst you're at it. Quick final shout out to everyone who already supports me on Patreon. Details are coming up at the end of the video, so if you'd like to do the same, of course, it's really appreciated. That's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your day. TTFN.